Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for this opportunity. It's actually very interesting to be back home, I would always say, but not especially at this weather, no. Yeah, so I'll be giving some presentation on the share sector. This is an area that I've been working for some time. I've done a lot with Wolfram, and for the past few years, I've been trying to consolidate most of the results that I have. So I'm just sharing a perspective for some of the results that I'm trying to collect and put together. So the topic is looking at the implications of share sector reforms and then the local livelihoods. And I'll be sharing a few on there. I'll be giving a brief background, the research area, some of the communities that the share is grown, the results, the discussions, a few recommendations, and then presentation. So Shea is actually an indigenous species which is grown wild in many countries in Africa. It thrives in 20 countries from Senegal to the west to Sudan, Uganda, and then a small part of Ethiopia. It actually produces fat in different countries. So in the west part of the country, we have what we call the oleg, which is produced in West Africa, and especially according to buyers in the international market, they prefer the fat from Ghana because it solidifies. And when they use it for some of these chocolates, it stays long and it feels very nice on your tongue. But then in East Africa, it has the liquid form, so it does not really solidify. So in Ghana, it is grown in the northern part of Ghana. So these are all the northern regions in the Ghana. That is where it is the shea is produced. And then the uses. Locally, it is a traditional crop which has very significant traditional uses. Most often, it's used in medicinal issues, medicinal problems. And then also they use it as food. And when a woman is getting married, as part of the tradition, they package things for the woman to go to her husband's house, they add shea butter. If she gives birth and they are going to visit her, they add shea butter. If they are bathing the baby, they use shea butter, to massage the body. And then internationally, it is also used as cocoa butter equivalent. That is in place of cocoa butter, shea butter is also used. But of course, there are so many issues with it in terms of policies. So these are some of the uses. You look at the internationally, apart from the confectionery sector, also the cosmetic sector is coming up strongly with the use of shea butter. And we can see, if you go to most of the shops in Europe, you find shea butter products in most of the creams that they use. I think I should have changed this because now Body Shop that was so much into shea butter has sold to a company. So Body Shop is no more existing, but then still that company buys a lot of shea butter and uses it. Now the significance, since 1983, when Ghana decided to go into export of non-timber export crops, shea butter became very, very important. It was about 10 products that have been exported, banana, cocoa, chili, all those kind of things. Shea butter has become one of the very important of non-timber exports, and also provides employment for about 600,000 women. And as you can see, one of the problems that is already emerging is lack of data. So since 2000, there hasn't been any research to actually show how many employment or how much employment that it provides. So this is the harvested areas and then the yields, and which shows how significant the sector is to the economy. Now, the sector is basically a traditional area for women. It is women who go to pick, it is women who come to process. And one interesting thing or importance of the sector is the fact that it has two market streams. So we have the kernel market and then we have the butter market. And all of it is being produced and processed by women. And of course, as you saw, the market globally is also there. And then we know that with global market or global interest in local product, there are always a lot of complexities. And especially when you have rural women who are not educated, who are the producers or at the base, then of course they are usually more affected. So within that background, given the potential, the importance, we wanted to look at, within the context of the theory, ACTA theory, we wanted to also understand how the complexities that exist, given that women are now supposed to integrate into the global market and compete with, actors who are very strong, who are very powerful, and then also really to see, because locally, government has always been using the sector as an area for poverty alleviation, for livelihood support and things like that. So wanted to see how the sector actually has the potential to support livelihoods and reduce poverty. This is against the background that usually in the northern sector, there's always food deficits at certain parts of the year. And fortunately, that is the part of the year where the share starts to grow. So during our interview, it was very interesting in talking to some women who are not educated, and then we're asking about how they are able to support the men when it comes to share. And they were like June, July. So I was like, how do you know June, July? So everybody knows that June, July is the month that there is food insecurity, and the women now come in to process the share to support with household food. So we use basically primary data and of course secondary data, and these are some of the districts and the capitals, and then the areas that share is highly produced that we went to talk to the people. So we spoke to some of the districts, about 6 districts, and then the number of people, communities that were there, almost 2, I think. Okay, so it doesn't show all of it, but it was almost 227 communities that we chose to talk to some of the actors. Now the results. So we tried to map up some of those who are processing and those organizations that are into, because we have local organizations in the communities that are also into share activities. So we try to identify the community and then map up the base organizations that are also existing in the community. And we realized that actually the state of the sector, this is how it's supposed to be. So if government is anything, is anything that is interested, given the amount of volumes that are going out, then we have the upper part, the apex of the state, which is supposed to have the policy regulatory frameworks. So there's supposed to be MOFA, there's supposed to be environmental protection, energy Ghana standards. So all these institutions are supposed to be working. And then also, when you come down to the local level where the share is being processed and sent out of the country, we have the resource base, we have the kernel markets, which goes into the market. And then, so from the kernel markets, we have the kernel processor that goes to the market. And then from the market, you can also have the butter markets, because they buy the kernels to produce the butter. And of course, at the kernel processing, which is the local level, we have assembly people who are assembling for bigger organizations. And then we also have, that is at the community level, and then we have also at the district level. So these big NGOs, these big international buyers, they come to the country and then they go to the regions and then to the community. And these people engage some agents who work for them at the regional level, at the district level, at the community level. And of course, at the community level, they also engage zonal people who go to the extreme communities to assembly for them. And then at the end of the day, we have the export market, which is most US, UK, Denmark, I mean, most of the countries in Europe that are also into buying. Now, our results shows, I mean, this is the age distribution of our results. This is also the marital distribution. And of course, we have very low educational levels among those who are processing the products. The product is said that we have it growing in the wild, as I said initially. So we have it in the community forest, and of course, in the forest, any land at all that you are farming on, because in the northern part, almost, I would say about 80% of the land is covered with the shea tree. So even if you are given a land to farm, there's a lot of shea trees on it. And the problem is that if a man has a land, his wife has to pick. It is the wife who picks from the farmland. So no other woman can go there. It is only the community forest that is open for all. And then also we have other people's farms. Sometimes, people do go into other people's farm, but that is not so common. If a man has 2 wives, then there's supposed to be a timetable for you to go maybe this week and then another person to go the other week. So it's quite well structured even in the household. So we just have a short presentation of the processes that the women go through. Because the women have to have so many other domestic activities, shea picking is usually done very early in the morning, between 4:35, depending on the distance. So they get up so early in the morning, they will go and pick. And then the second stage is come to parboil the nuts. So they go to pick the nuts, they come to parboil it, and then process it into kernels. And then from the kernels, of course, we have the market, and then that is a woman sitting on the floor, they're processing it into butter. And at the end of the day, we have the butter. And this is which the cosmetic industries, especially in international cosmetic industries, are making a huge money out of it. Okay. So, of course, at the local level, they have the pickers' residence where sometimes people come there to sell. I'm talking about the marketing now. And then also we have the community market, and then also district market where sometimes, of course, if they have to go to the district market, it has a lot to do with transport and cost. So I try to put up the value chain, and you can see how very complex it is. So at the global level, they come to Accra, and then that is the national to the country, and then they go down to the regions where shea is produced. And then, as I said, there are 2 markets. So we have the kernel markets, we have the butter market, all produced by the local communities. So at the kernel market, we have the regional agents. And then at the regional agents, there are also development partners that are supporting the international buyers, because most of these development partners are there as agents who are supporting women to develop, to be empowered. So shea is one of the very important areas that they try to help the women. So what they do is they with support from the international buyers, they then train the women on how to produce quality shea butter, because the international buyers are also looking for quality. And of course, quality also give them premium, not much though. So they also come to help them, train them on how to produce, how to help them with marketing, because they are not educated. And so, so from the regional level, they get agents who go to the district, and then we have the community agents, the zonal agents, and then of course they assemble the pickers and then the buyers. So we have the development practitioners. We also have associations, and these associations are controlled by elite women. And these women, it's sometimes very difficult to understand them. You don't know whether they are there for the women or they are doing their own business, but these are well-educated women who have formed pickers group or butter processing groups. And so they process for them and they sell. So we'll be coming to a next slide where you realize that it's difficult to tell whether they are really working for the women or they are working for themselves. 5 minutes, okay. Okay, so here communication is actually lacking, because at the international level, There's contract arrangements, prices, and who buys and where the share goes or the butter goes. The local women are not aware. So we have the NGOs, the practitioners, the elite women groups who are supporting the international buyers. And then they are also, as I said, helping them with capacity building. And then the pickers at the end, but they don't have any information as to how much they are even selling their product or where the product is going. And of course, the demand for share in the confectionery and then the cosmetic market is growing, which is very good for the sector. Volumes that are being exported is quite high. You can see from 2000 up to 2018, according to, and here, as I said, the data issue, there are conflicting information. According to MOFA, the share that was exported in 2018 was 504 metric tons. And then from Ghana Export Promotion itself, they are saying it was about 90. Sorry? This is the price. The former slide was it. Yeah, no, this is the volumes that are being exported. Price per ton. Price per slide. You split one. No. I slipped one slide. Yeah, this one. Yes. So we have the export and then we have the value, which is also presented here as the value. So there are conflicting information between MOFA and then GEPA. We don't know what is the actual this thing. But of course, it's obvious that in 2018, the prices went very high. And so this is also about the same thing. Let me skip this one. So the marketing, we have a lot of importing countries, the pharmaceutical industry, as I always said. Of course, we also have here, which is showing a lot of countries that are into buying of share. The problem is that the market has no policy. Is experiencing an open market system. So it presents a highly unregulated, fragmented market, which is not coordinated at all. If you come to the market, for instance, there are no standardization. So you see how the woman is measuring. This bowl weighs about 3 to 4 kg, depending on how they do it. But you see how she's weighing it. Actually, this is supposed to be, okay. Okay, so the other side where the woman is holding is supposed to be the standard measure. But where the woman has put the hand here, that is where sometimes they always want them to measure in that way. So there are no standardizations. And of course, the agents too, when they go to the communities, they pick sacks that are about almost 90 to 100 kg. But when they are selling to the international agents, then they reduce it to 80, 85 kg and sell to them at the same price. So from what has been presented, I can say that there are opportunities. Of course, as I said, literature shows that demand for chocolates in India and Russia and other Asian countries is growing for share. It also generates employment. The food sector absorbs almost 90% of the kernels. We have a niche market, which is also growing for the cosmetic industry. In Ghana, we have the scientific knowledge to domesticate it, but it's still growing wild. And then we have associations that are coming up also to support the women economically and socially. Now, the implications is the fact that the area is not attractive for the youth. So you see that most of them are old age. Of course, there's no educational level is low. And then also, places of picking is becoming a problem because now there's development and they are selling their lands. And, there's, those Ghanaians who are here knows that there's huge interest in estates development. And because of the international buyers needing quality, there's an introduction of traceability and complex quality checks for the women. Food policy debates outside the country as to whether they should use share and label it as share or they should use a different name is also having impact on the sales. And of course, as I said, the market is not really regulated. So some of the challenges are the fact that there's no gap, there's no data to actually know to actually assess and examine what is actually happening. The youth are not interested. And of course, because they go to the bushes in the night, they have snake bites, and then also transportation is a problem. So these are just some few recommendations. I think we need to eat our own chocolate. So production of Ghana chocolate with using shea butter, which is possible. There should be also detailed sector analysis or cost-benefit analysis to actually understand the sector well. Regional collaboration, because we have it in West Africa or many parts of Africa. So if we come together, I think we'll be able to also engage well internationally. And then also, I think where the share is growing, the leaders should also take it upon themselves to protect the sector. We also say that the Ghana Statistical Service, they also need to engage with share activities, a part of agricultural activities. Regional and district assemblies should take record of shares that are leaving, and then MOFA marketing units should also collect prices on share. So at the end of the day, is the share sector is, we can see that it's no more a rural women sector, because we saw a lot of actors that are coming in. It is in this regard, it has gone beyond rural livelihood support to supporting urban dwellers, as well as makes and this makes measures geared towards sustainability a key part of any planned intervention. So as to whether the sector has any economic potential to support livelihoods and to reduce poverty, yes. But until government and all actors commit resources into sustaining the sector, it's a problem. Thank you very much.